Welcome to the Crewcast, the Crew's live podcast about video games and all things Crew. Join us and many of your favorite crew members as we review games, talk about the new Crew series, answer your questions, and much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Crewcast.
Welcome to the Crewcast Live with Belbuzz, Swippin, Danny, Gizmo, Lizzie, Sickles, Sarah, and myself. We're filming this on the 9th of November 2013, and let's go right to the gaming news.
Alright, so, gaming news. PS4 releases in 6 days, the 15th of November, Friday. What do you guys think?
Exciting?
It's exciting.
I'm happy it's coming out because we're gonna get one.
Yay!
What's the expected sales for it, do you think?
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, I know a lot of people are excited about both consoles hitting the market. The Xbox One will follow a week later or so. I've seen lots of pictures of Xbox Ones and PS4s in warehouses, but obviously Sony's got the jump. It looks like Sony's going to have a few more kind of indie-ish online titles at launch, and then of course they both have their branded ones. But is anyone else going to be getting a PS4 or an Xbox One for that matter?
I think I'm going to hold off for a little while to get one.
Swippin, I mean, you know, any console gaming there in your family, you and Sickles, or are you guys pretty much PC gamers?
Wait, I was saying we are getting a PS4, and normally it's mostly the wife and Sickles playing some. She's playing like Resident Evil and those type of games. Sickles, I think she's played a lot of Zelda and such.
So, in the past, more Nintendo?
We have both the Wii and PS3 now. We don't have an Xbox. We most likely will get the PS4, not the Xbox One. But yeah, some Nintendo for her, and wife plays like Resident Evil and such on PS3.
Yeah, all right, very cool. Well, I mean, we're really looking forward to the new consoles hitting. Obviously, the next-gen games. I mean, we'll see what they can do with it, and we'll see how it compares with the PC side of things. Sometimes it's a shame that some of these titles are console only, and then of course you always have the issue of console exclusive titles where it's only PS4, PS3 versus Xbox 360 or Xbox One. But I plan on trying to do an unboxing video and such of the PS4 and Xbox One for people. So hopefully there'll be some interesting stuff. I mean, there's titles on both that I'm looking forward to, but it's tough right now to say who I think is going to be the winner in the ultimate race, which I know we tried to talk about on previous podcasts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Danny, something that could be big or non-big news for you. Call of Duty Ghost released. Now, just to give you a quick rundown on 3 popular sites. Giant Bomb gave it 3 out of 5. Destructoid gave it 5 out of 10. And IGN, 8.8 out of 10. So, reviews all over the place. Some people imply that IGN is more like gets, I don't want to say bribed, but gets kind of enough advertising and money from publishers that they're not as good a source of accurate reviews. But anyone heard much about this game? Or Danny, you haven't played it yet, have you?
I have not played it yet. I'm hoping to play it within the next few weeks.
I think crew-wise, the only person that I know of is obviously Sarah here, who's here today, her father, PD, I think has it on the PC.
Yep, he does.
All right, so Call of Duty Ghosts, just a few things on that. I've heard some people say the ending is the same as a previous Call of Duty. Actually, almost the cutscene is like frame for frame, like the same cutscene, the same type of ending. Um, it's getting a lot of negative press. I will say it doesn't seem to be getting as much positive press as Battlefield 4 has been getting. I'm not sure. Well, it'll be probably another week or so, and we can maybe talk about sales numbers to see how it compared. Because Battlefield did pretty well, and of course GTA did amazing. Um, some people aren't liking the dogs either.
Oh,
Aww.
I played both Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And I think I will get one of them. I like the Battlefield 4 or the Call of Duty Ghost. At the moment it's looking more like Battlefield 4, but might get Ghosts, not sure.
Yeah,
Need to watch a few more reviews.
Yeah, I think maybe whatever one. I think Battlefield 4 looks pretty popular. It seems to be right now the early leader for just for what it is. Call of Duty Ghosts, I think, is kind of like Call of Duty in general. It's more like the movie Expendables. I mean, it's just run around, blow things up. The story's not the greatest, but you don't really care. Whereas Battlefield tries to be more of more serious when it comes to the actual like multiplayer combat. I think Battlefield 4 would be interesting for us to do as a live stream one night. To just get a bunch of fans and everybody on and just start playing Battlefield 4 or even 3, because I know a lot of people have 3. But the early reviews are mixed. But if you go to Reddit, there's quite a bit of unhappy people, and there's some who are just Call of Duty fans that are playing it. I think Mario did Mario buy this for the Xbox?
yeah, he has it for the Xbox.
And I don't know if did he give you any early report?
I think he said he played a little bit of the single player. I don't think he said much about the multiplayer, but I think he said the single player was okay. I don't think he mentioned anything about the dogs though.
So, I mean, we'll hopefully report more about it in coming episodes. Definitely, at least to see how the sales are going. I don't believe early reports are they're going as well as that Activision had hoped. But let's move on now. We were talking, obviously, earlier here, the first subject about the PS4 releasing here in 6 days, and that the Xbox One is about a week behind that. But one lucky guy, or unlucky guy, depending on how you want to look at it, got his Xbox One early. Target, or I think it was Target, shipped it to him by mistake early. So he actually had it. So he started tweeting about it. I think he tried to put it on eBay and had like a $10,000 buy it now or something like that. Nobody bought it. I think he took it down or it got taken down. But he started putting up videos where he was unboxing it, playing with it, showing the user interface. It updated with a patch when he connected it. And what happened? But I think today, late last night, Microsoft filed some takedown requests through the DMCA form on YouTube. His videos have been removed, and he's been banned on Xbox Live. Now, early reports are that he'll be unbanned on the official release date from Xbox Live. And he has said he can play single-player stuff right now with it. He just can't get on Xbox Live. So what do you guys think about this bad move by Microsoft to take the videos down and ban, or proper form, say, for a company?
I think it's a bit harsh, to be honest.
That has enraged me when I read that and you put that on. That's absolutely enraging. I would slap them if they did that to me.
It's not the guy's fault.
It wasn't his fault. Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Like, and it's like it's just videos of him unboxing it. It's not like. That's just absolutely...
I mean, what harm was done, really?
I have no words.
Well, he was showing video of things like the patch, I think, and updates and playing on live. And right now it's not actually open to users. It's basically anyone who has a console right now that's using it is either someone in the industry, someone at Microsoft, the press, maybe, things of that nature. So Microsoft is basically kind of saying, hey, look, things aren't patched, they're not released, we're making changes. We don't want people showing stuff that isn't a released patch or release software because we're still tweaking things, and they're maybe afraid of negative press based off something that's maybe buggy or glitchy that they're still working on because it's not officially out yet. So I mean, I could see them kind of being upset somewhat. I think what they did is harsh. Most people said the guy was nothing more than the best PR Microsoft could ever have because people were seeing it, people were seeing him enjoy it and like it, and the user interface and the way the system works is just very, very slick. I mean, I think it blows away the PS4 from a user interface standpoint. It just looks amazing. And this guy really was giving him good press. So I think it's a bad move, taking down the videos. I could see him maybe disconnecting him from Xbox Live because they don't want him connecting maybe when they're still doing beta testing or developers are still working on things. I could see him cutting off his Xbox Live until it's officially released. But banning his videos, I mean, seems a little harsh.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the first part about the live thing. Like, he might mess up what they're doing and stuff, but to completely remove the videos, it's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, some ways that YouTube is done is sometimes is absolutely ridiculous.
Now, on the flip side, some reports are that Sony has stated if anyone would get their PS4 early, they won't remove videos. Now, Sony's been really good at like coming in after the fact when Microsoft makes mistakes and then doing the opposite. You have to wonder if this would have been a PS4 that got released early, would they have done the same thing? And then Microsoft say, "Hey, we wouldn't take them down." But Sony's had a lot of good PR by letting Microsoft make initial blunders and then coming in and learning from them and then doing the opposite.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the final kind of comparativeness of Xbox versus PS4 after like a week or so.
Yeah, I mean, early reports right now seem to say that the PS4 has a slight more powerful edge, whereas the Xbox One doesn't. It's a little less powerful, but they say that the Xbox One does more for all-in-one, systems. I mean, it integrates everything. And I don't know if did you guys see the one video that Microsoft put off where two of the guys were showing the Xbox dashboard and features. And they were two of them from Microsoft, and they would say, Xbox, show my stuff, and it would like know who they are, and it would load their gamer tag and all their settings and favorites and stuff on the main screen. And then the other guy would say, Xbox, show my stuff, and it would do the same thing. And they started playing. I think the guy started playing Forza, and he was like, Xbox, record this gameplay, and it just started recording it, and then he was able to edit it and like overlay, video with it from the Kinect camera. And they showed the Kinect camera working with Skype, and the camera actually was tracking the person while he was talking to him. They had some guy from his home talking to him. The camera would track them as they walked around the house, even though it does not have any mechanical movement. It was all done in software. But they were jumping from games to TV to Skype to their friends list of messages, to Hulu, to Netflix. It was a pretty darn seamless setup. So it really looks like Microsoft's taking the approach of, hey, we want to build a system that's a gaming system, next gen, but we want to add in a lot of family features and media features and things that we think are the future, whereas Sony is saying we're going to build the best gaming platform we can, and then going forward, you're going to play games on it, but they're not looking for as much of that multimedia experience.
Definitely interesting.
All right, so let's move on to crew news. Big crew news, obviously, is that we're back from Minecon. Over here on my left, you see Piper, Giz, and Danny. They came from Europe to Orlando. And obviously myself, Lizzie, and Mrs. Boz. And then, of course, you notice Swippen and Sickles. They did not go to Minecon. Swippen was not able to get tickets, but they did still come to Orlando. And you actually went to Miami. What kind of stuff did you guys do, Swippen?
Well, a lot of pool time, I guess, and in the ocean. We also went to SeaWorld. That was really fun. And we went bowling and did a great win there.
Ooh.
That was basically most of it. We also saw some gators, of course, alligators.
And
So it
didn't
was
you
nice
hold
trip.
one?
Yeah, Siculus and me held one. It was really cool.
So, Sickles, I mean, what did you think about America?
So I simply enjoyed it.
What was your favorite part?
Meeting the crew, of course.
Whipping, she needs to get out more often.
No.
But I mean, the main reason we were in Florida was in the beginning to go to Minecon and meet people. So I guess we got half of it. We got to meet people, and same here. That was one of the best moments.
Aw.
Okay, well, Piper, what about you?
Oh my goodness, where do I begin? I loved Minecon. It was amazing. It just, it can't describe it. It's like, okay, we've got Minecraft, which is a video game, and we all play it, but Minecon kind of made me see it in a different way. Like, there was all this different stuff to it. Like, they had all the tournaments and stuff which were going on, and it was weird seeing people play it like all together IRL. And then they had all the craft section, all the little other bits which went with it, and the guy who did all the Minecraft experience and the massive animals was just amazing. So yeah, I just had a wonderful time, and I really enjoyed going to America. I've never really thought about going to America because I don't like flying, so the 10-hour flight was not appealing to me, but it was fine, the flight. Um, in the end, after my panic was over when I finally touched down in America. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I love the food, and I love the pancakes, and I had loads of pancakes. And I don't know what else to say. It was just really nice, and it was lovely meeting everyone as well, especially Bubbles, Mrs. Buzz, and Lizzie. They were absolutely wonderful, lovely people. So yeah,
That could be your new battle cry, like in a game, is yell pancakes.
pancakes.
Because you mean you did beat Giz and Danny at parkour. And,
Oh, how could I forget that? I won parkour. I beat Gizmo and Danny, hands down.
yeah, I think you actually
You
beat him
should
at
be
bowling too.
proud.
And I beat them at bowling.
All right, Giz,
Me,
your
I
thoughts.
So you
I
didn't like
think
meeting?
Can I say something I beat Giz at?
Yeah, go ahead.
On wrestling.
All right,
I
Giz.
beat you at
Giz.
Thumb Wars. I beat you at Thumb Wars, Lizzie.
Thumb Wars requires reflexes, not strength.
Yeah, so I'm good at reflexes. You're good at strength.
Lizzie beat me in.
You're not a
Cities at
very
the
manly
arcade.
man, Giz.
I'm a very reflexy man, I guess.
Gizmo will not enter the UFC. That is a given, or become a boxer. But
Ballerina, maybe. I don't know.
maybe ballerina, or maybe some type of like what would be a good reflex type thing for Giz? I can't really think of anything right now, but maybe you guys can throw some comments out there. But go ahead, Giz.
Well, I was going to say, Piper, you didn't like meeting me and Danny.
Yeah, I said I'm meeting everyone. I do.
No, I really enjoyed it, but I mean, I didn't enjoy the flight, to be honest. I'm not a good flyer. I haven't really flown probably before. So flying was a bit scary. And then finally when we landed, I was fine. And then obviously meeting everyone, that was so weird. I mean,
So surreal.
back in the UK when I met Danny, I walked up to him and was like, "No way, man."
Which
So that
is
was
probably
really
a
surreal.
UK joke, so people might not get that.
Well,
Yeah. So that was
Gizmo's
really surreal.
version of Danny's voice becomes Jamaican, which we haven't been able to figure out.
And then when we landed and got there, as we were walking around the corner, and then suddenly just this guy just appeared and was like, "Hey guys," and we were like, "It's Balbus!"
It's
And then we were just like walking and talking to him casually. It was so weird.
It was really strange.
Yeah, and Minecon was really cool. It was really nice to see like parents with their kids kind of like playing the games with them, and the kids were kind of teaching them about the game, and it was really nice to see them actually like taking part in things. It was really nice to see like families playing together. And it was so good to see Jeb. Jeb.
Oh God.
Oh my God, I could have touched him. So yeah, that was really cool. And the games that we played, me and Danny played the parkour stuff, and I probably did as well, and Lizzie did. And me and Danny did the survival games. That was really cool. So yeah, it was really fun.
Okay, Danny.
The flight. Oh, I'd start off with the drive down to London was horrible.
Oh.
I couldn't get any sleep, so I was half asleep when I got to the airport. But the flight was fine for me. Meeting you guys was awesome. Like going from online like one day and then the next day meeting Giz and Piper and then flying to America and then meeting Buzz, Lizzie, and Mrs. Buzz was just mind blowing. Like I don't know. Minecon was awesome. Like all of the booths were really cool. Like the Jinx booth was incredible. Like the line for that the first day was insane. Obviously meeting Swippen and Sickles and Chunky and Sassy was awesome as well. Like just meeting people from our community was really, really cool. And the food was delicious.
Danny definitely partook of food. I think of
Yeah.
the three crew, Danny from Europe, Danny partook of most food. Went kind of all around the map. You know, didn't like go with like safe choices. Maybe. I mean, he tried everything, and I don't think there was anything that you didn't like either like or finish. I mean, you did a quite a good job.
Yeah, I finished everything.
Now he did
Was it?
fail a little bit on talking. He was very quiet the first couple days, especially. I mean,
Oh,
but he did start to liven up some, and then as it, Danny's I think just kind of a shyer guy initially.
Yeah. Takes me a little bit.
well, they're not in the shower when you can hear him singing.
Yeah.
Mine, Minecraft.
You did that
Oh,
as
not
well.
that song. No,
I know.
no.
All right, Lizzie, your thoughts on Minecon Orlando, meeting people, whatever.
I was happy. I was so excited when I got to meet Giz, Piper, and Danny. It was really fun. I loved Minecon, and yeah, it was so much fun.
Now she was quite sad when everybody had to leave because we had to get on our flights earlier than Piper, Giz, and Danny, so we had to kind of part ways where we went to one section of the airport and they went to the other. But Lizzie quickly got on her homework, and then when she got on the plane, started eating food. And her favorite thing is to sit in that chair and have the stewardess bring her snacks and drinks and just enjoy the experience, but play on her iPod and then just eat anything she could get her hands on. Well, for me, I mean, it was obviously great to get some of the crew here. I mean, I felt bad that obviously we couldn't bring everybody, and then of course Minecon, it would have been impossible to get more tickets. I tried on day 3 to see if I could get on, hoping that maybe I could help Swippen get tickets if he struggled, but both of us failed on day 3. So I mean, it was impossible to get tickets for. I wish they could do something better for that in the future. I don't know if they ever will. It's always, I think, because of the popularity, going to be tough to get everybody who goes. We hope it's in Europe next year, maybe London,
come on.
something like that, which would make it very easy to get pretty much all the crew there. And then it's just, Miss Lizzie, myself, Mrs. Boz that have to make the long flight. So I think that's ideally. But it was great to get to meet, the crew that I was able to meet. To take them around to different parts of, Americana, if you will, and see them experience food. Just the differences. I know Piper and them were amazed at how friendly people are. Just he'll start talking to you, be it if it's your waitress or be it if it's just somebody you're sitting next to or standing in line with. People just start talking, and there are definitely differences between the cultures.
The woman at
definitely.
Minecon we sat next to.
Yeah. I mean, we at Line at Minecon, there was a lady who actually was from Ohio, from a little further north than where I am. But just started talking, and she wanted to find out about our channel. So I mean, it was a lot of fun to do everything bowling and having Swippet and Sickles show up, and Chunky and his mom and sister. Sassy met us outside of
Yeah.
at Adventure Island, I think it was called. They couldn't get tickets either, but they were at the park that Minecon had the party at. They had to leave because Mojang had basically bought the park for the night, so it was only Minecon employees at a certain time window. But we had a chance to meet her and her mom and dad. They were going to come bowling, but she ended up getting sick, so she wasn't able to make it to that. But hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to meet more the fans. But I mean, it was really great. I mean, I wish we could have had everybody there, so I felt bad about that. But hopefully next year, fingers crossed, uh, we can do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
A couple other things in crew news, real quickly, and the first is the theme server. You may have seen earlier today, I put up a short video kind of announcing the theme server up, and obviously the podcast that was going to be going on today live. But the theme is up. Piper, you want to say anything about the current theme, last week's theme, the video that you're working on?
Well, the video that I'm working on for Disney theme build, I finished editing it, so I just need to upload it to Buzz. It will be going up tomorrow night. And the current theme is famous people / celebrities. So if you want to do celebrities nowadays, actors, etc., that's fine. But I think would probably be looking for more interesting ones, like maybe historical figures or some kind of spin on the twist on the theme. So yeah, but it's all good fun, and I've not been on yet, so I've not seen. I saw the video earlier, so I know people have started building. So I'll probably go on later and have a look and see what's going on. Yeah, it's good.
And I would like to add, I know a lot of people want their video or their builds shown in the video. If you want to have it shown, I mean, there's no guarantees because there's so many builds, but try your best to follow the theme. Like right now, the theme celebrities, famous people. There's some people who are building things that aren't real people. Like, say, someone builds Marge Simpson. Well, she's not really a famous person. She's a fake character. She's not a celebrity. She's a fake character. If you were building the actress who plays her, then that would be, granted, a limited one. But try to follow the theme and come up with unique ideas that match the theme. I mean, on the Disney
Yeah.
theme, we had people do some movies that aren't even Disney movies. And I'm not even considering like Star Wars. A lot of people did Star Wars, and Disney owns Star Wars now, but they never have put out any Star Wars content yet. So it makes it tougher. So you want to? I mean, we were hoping for Disney, things like say the Lion King, or
Yeah.
the Disney Park, or things that have definitely are Disney related. But try your best to hit the theme well, because if you go off too far off the beaten path, that will hurt your chances. Because there's so many to show. We want to show the ones that stand out, but also meet the theme. All right, main segment. Now I don't know how many of you guys have heard about this, but Valve, the makers of Steam and Portal, Team Fortress 2, the list goes on and on, are working on a new hardware device. They're calling it the Steam Machine. And they're going to be Steam machines because there are going to be multiple versions. But this is kind of their attempt to get into the console market, but it's more a PC in a console form factor that you'll hook up to your TV. So you'll be able to play your Steam games on the TV, which you could do now with like a home theater PC running, say, Windows. Or running Mac or Linux, but obviously you lower the number of games you can play. Now, their goal is to have this as a Linux box, and they're pushing really hard to get most of the game companies out there. They're trying to. I don't think it's going to be successful. They're trying to get a lot of these game companies to port their games to Linux. But this is their attempt to get into that market. It could be successful, may not be. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is good, bad? It's going to be a failure. It's going to be a success. What are your guys' thoughts?
I actually think it's quite a good idea. I mean, it sounds like something I would actually get. Um, and I think Steam itself has always been quite popular. It's been growing and growing in popularity. And I think with a kind of console-esque thing, I think it could even go even further. So I think it would work.
I think it would work pretty good. I don't really know, but I think at least some people will get on it.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
think
idea of
um,
I like the idea of sharing the games between the PC and the console, so you buy it in one place and share it in both. But it's still, I don't like that much on playing on the TV, so I most likely stay on PC. But I like the idea.
yeah, I'm more of a PC gamer, as you all know. But to have like a console which would give me the option of playing my games that I have on my computer, which I've already bought, like on the Steam console, if they transfer across, that'd be quite cool. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing, and I hope it does succeed. I'm not sure if it will, but I guess we'll find out.
The only issue I see with it is with Xbox and PlayStation having a big hold on the console market. Would they be able to break into it and have some kind of a hold on the market?
Well, how many
True.
people are on Steam? How many users are on Steam?
The thing is a lot of users on PlayStation and Xbox currently as well.
Well, remember,
No, I mean, my que-
Steam in our last episode, Steam did eclipse Xbox Live in subscribers, active and everything. So there are a lot of people on Steam.
Yeah, so you've got to think like at least a few of those would have to be interested in, like to be able to play the games in like really good settings and stuff. Like that's one thing I always see like on Reddit. It's like, oh, I have all these games on Steam, but like my settings are always on so low. So, I mean, that's what I have. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest difficulty that they're going to have with this is Linux. I'm a Linux fan. I love Linux. Gaming wise, Linux doesn't have the same amount of titles currently on Steam. I mean, you can use Steam now on Linux, and there's games on there. There's probably at least 200 or 300, but there's not thousands. So if the games aren't there, that'll hurt them. The question is, does Valve have the clout and the ability to tell Activision, hey, will you do Call of Duty Ghosts for Linux, so that it'll work on the Steam machine. Now, Valve is one thing that they're doing, which I think is really cool. The Steam machine is going to be open hardware. They're not going to lock it down. They're not going to do anything to it. You can take that box and you can install Windows on it. You can install your own version of Linux that you may want. Say you want to install Ubuntu or Linux Mint or whatever it might be, or Debian. You can do whatever you want with that box. It's your box. So I think that's cool. The fact that you could put Windows on it, you could put another version of Linux. Obviously, I think if you're going to stick with Linux, you probably would want to stick with Steam's branded version of Linux. I think they're using Ubuntu, but modifying it. But I think that's the biggest key is if it doesn't have the games, people aren't going to do it. And the current next-gen consoles that are coming out here this week, they are much more closer now to PC hardware than they were in the previous gen. The PS3 and the 360 are as far as you can get from being similar to PCs. But now the PS4 and the Xbox One are very similar to current gen PCs. So I think the difficulty in developing console games for people or porting is much simpler. But I mean, I think the Linux is really going to be what makes or breaks them. A lot of companies are excited about it because Linux is free and it takes cost out of the console. You don't have that Microsoft tax that people call it for putting, Windows 8, Windows 7, or whatever it may be on it. So you save cost. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm excited about anything that's new. But the thought of being able to access my entire Steam library on a TV is pretty cool. But obviously, it's not going to be the case right now. If I run the Linux version of Steam, I can't play all my games. But the fact that you can play, if you have a Mac, a Linux machine, and a Windows, you can load Steam on all three and play whatever games you have that work on those platforms. That's pretty cool. So I think it's pretty neat.
Also, would you be able to record on it?
I would think. I mean, in fact, OBS actually, the thing we're using right now to stream, they're working on a new version of OBS. I forget what they're calling it, like OBS Next Gen or something like that. That's probably not that, but he's redoing from the ground up, and they're almost done. And it's going to support Mac, Windows, and Linux. So, and a lot of games are embedding streaming into them. I think Path of Exile or Path to Exile, or is it Path 2 or Path of Exile, isn't it?
Yep, Path of Exile.
I believe it has Twitch integrated into it, which is a game that we want to try out. But I think streaming is a possibility on any of them, but especially with like OBS. And the thing about OBS, it's open source, it's free. If Steam wanted to, they could try to integrate OBS into the client, or anyone could, if they wanted to, because it's going to be an open platform. As open as DRM games can be, because remember, at its core, Steam is DRM. The games, I know there are some games that supposedly don't have Steam DRM, but they still are locked to your account, so it's still DRM no matter how much you want to look at it. But I think it's going to be interesting. Would anybody buy one of these things sight unseen? If you had the money.
Yeah, I'll probably buy it over an Xbox and over a PlayStation, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it will compare to the other two.
Yeah, I definitely thinking about it.
I think I want to see a few reviews first before I buy it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I don't want to just blindly buy it, but it's definitely in my head that I'm tempted to.
Well, I mean, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. The controller they've built for the Steam machine, it's still in prototype stages, but it looks really interesting, and they're kind of taking a chance with. It's not your traditional controller, but the guy behind what is it, Meat Boy, I believe, got a copy of got a sample of the hardware controller that the Steam machine is going to use, and it works on the PC. And he played Meat Boy with it. And if there's ever a game that requires pinpoint jumping and everything, it's Meat Boy. And he was skeptical, but he actually got through like the difficult levels and played it, and he was very positive about it. He did say it had some things that needed to be worked on, but he really thought that it was a huge step in the right direction, and he was excited about that controller and the Steam machine. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. You guys definitely need to let us know too if you want to see stuff from us where we do more reviews of games. We've kind of not done a lot of reviews in the past, but if you want to see reviews, if you want to see unboxings of different hardware, I mean, let us know what you want. All right, now our last segment. And when we're done with the podcast, we'll talk and answer questions, everybody. But I want to just go through the podcast so we have a stop point, because I will put this up on the channel. But we'll hang around those who can, and if you guys have any questions you want to talk to us about. But we're going to talk right now with the questions that were sent in. Now, our first question was sent in by Captain Legend 01, and it is a video question.
Hello, crew. My question to you is, what video game franchise do you think should die? Thanks for answering my question, and bye!
Alright, so the question was, what video game franchise should die?
That's a really hard question.
I struggled with this one. I really, really did.
I don't think dying, but I think it's good to have a break a few years between games. Like, look at GTA. Like, the break in between that, it did them well. Like, and again, like COD seems to be doing well, but it gets quite a bit of hate.
Do you know what I would have said?
What?
I feel really bad for saying it, and I'm glad Extra's not here. But Sims 3 has to stop. I mean, I love the Sims series. I do not like Sims 3. I've not got on with it. I refuse to buy all the extra bits for it. Well, I'm really hoping Sims 4 is better. Is that part of the franchise?
The Sims is a franchise.
Well, that's
so
a
if you're saying
franchise,
Sims, and
but I mean, you're saying
Yeah,
you're kind of taking two different sides. So you're saying it should die, but then you're going to buy Sims 4.
yeah, I think Sims
Fuck.
3 should die. I think it should die
oh,
now.
Buzz.
You got to
I
kill
think
the whole
Sims 4 should
series.
come out. No, I
But
can't
that's the
do that.
question. That is the
That's the
question.
question.
Yeah. Oh,
I
okay.
love
my
Sims
God.
Piper.
Do you like Sims 3, Lizzie?
That's the one I have.
Okay, have you
I
played
love
Sims 2?
3.
No.
Okay, Sims 2 is better.
No, it's not.
I love
I
Sims 3.
doubt it is.
I like Sims 2 actually.
Sorry, Lizzie.
Anyone have any franchise that they want to see dead?
I think Assassin's Creed
Don't.
needs
No.
to stop.
No, there's so many more places it can go.
It's getting too
But-
repetitive.
No, okay, I agree with you that I think. I mean, I haven't played them, but I've watched quite a few gameplay videos of it. I have a bit of intel on it, and I think you're right in one sense that it should like stop a little bit because I mean, like at first it was like Assassin's Creed 1, then there was like a few years Assassin's Creed 2, and Assassin's Creed 2 was like fantastic. I have played Assassin's Creed 2, and then it was kind of like a yearly thing. So they kind of need to hold back on it, I think, rather than die completely. They need to hold back and wait a few years to build hype up and to work on it more and make it slightly different each game. Well, not slightly, but more different each game. Because there's so many places they can take it. Like they can take it feudal Japan, they can take it like England, like in medieval times. So many places they can take it.
I'm breaking you two up, sorry. I thought I'd get in the middle.
Danny wants Assassin's Creed to die.
Oh,
Any other series
Yes.
that people would like to see die?
I want Halo to die.
He's only saying
You
that
just
because
said
I said
that
Assassin's
because Danny
Creed.
said that.
I actually want Final Fantasy to die.
Oh, are you kidding?
But I love the games like 7 to 10. They were great.
Actually, yeah. Good
But latest 2, 3, they've been crap. So I think that enough is enough. Let the old games like play them and not make new because
I will kind of back him in. My email is the FFF, which is Final Fantasy Freak. Like when I was younger, I was like obsessed with Final Fantasy. But you do make a really good point that like the earlier games are just brilliant, but then like after 10, it kind of goes a bit. Like 11 was online. I played 11. 11 was good, but it was different. And then 12, combat was good, but the story was just rubbish.
Whoa. Have there really been 12 of them?
It's been like 14, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
15's
That is
coming out
absolutely
soon.
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, they're all different, but I mean, lately they've all been the same somewhat. After like 10, it went the same-ish. But you should play the ones before 10.
I think the gameplay like is made for the old types of graphics and with the turn-based attacks and such. So yeah, I think that should end. It's done its course.
I was playing 13 and I enjoyed it until the huge power leveling bit. So I pretty much stopped it, but currently I'm enjoying 7.
Yeah, my favorite is 9 and 8.
Interesting that we got an agreement for the most part when it comes to Final Fantasy. Because my thoughts on this is, I mean, maybe a better question should have been like, what video game franchise needs a serious reboot? Which then maybe Danny talking Assassin's Creed makes more sense, or people might even say the latest Batman is the same old. I mean, I think sometimes franchises get very stale. Call of Duty, I think, is a prime target here. A lot of people are saying, look, it's the same old. They're not innovating. Maybe it needs a reboot. If I had to pick a series to die, I don't think I could, because as long as people are buying it, then it's not going to die. And everybody seems to keep buying things. Now, if I had to, I probably would pick Sims series, because I don't like the Sims games at all.
But Sims 4 is going to be amazing, Belbuzz.
How do you know?
I have to agree with Piper.
You might have thought Sims 3 was going to be amazing when you first heard about it.
I
probably did, actually.
I really look forward to the Create a Sim.
But I mean, I don't really have any real pick. I was surprised that you guys were very positive about seeing Final Fantasy stop. But would you change your mind if somebody was going to reboot the series and try to reinvigorate it to try to bring back that glory, or can they? I mean, maybe there's been too many games for that series.
I think Final Fantasy's problem is it's become too agoo. Like it's yeah, like the original ones had their own kind of stories and their own kind of characters, and like the artwork of them was all different. And then after like 11, it all kind of looked the samey, and it all kind of felt pretty much like it was the same game, really, but just with a few different tweaks on it. I think if they brought out a new one with actual like rememberable characters, with a really cool universe and like that was different, and like the battle system was really interesting, I think it would be really cool. But like at the minute, I would just like to see it take a bit of a rest, have a little sleep. Final Fantasy. But you're
Okay.
in about 5 years' time.
Alrighty. Well, let's move on to our next question, and this one comes from I believe Gundam Natsu. And his question: with the addition of Twitch to the Xbox One, will we see more content from the Xbox One on the live streams or on this or other channels, or our other channel, meaning the Crew After Dark? And we should also throw the PS4 into this because it has Twitch capabilities also. And regardless, you can always plug your console into a capture device. Although the PS4, I think at release, has made this impossible until they patch it because it has HDMI protection turned on by default constantly, whereas the Xbox One only turns it on when you're watching paid movies or TV shows. Otherwise, if you're just playing games, there's no protection turned on, so it's easy to capture. I think we'll do some stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm thinking maybe doing some unboxing, showing some stuff. We might get into some reviews here and there on some of the new titles, but I could see us streaming. Right now, the biggest problem with the new stuff is just going to be if I have a PS4 and nobody else in the crew has it, it's not like we're going to be able to do a lot of like multiplayer or hands-on and your thoughts, my thoughts type of situation. But I think our goal is to try to do some next gen stuff on Twitch. So next question. This question comes from 2002 Addy, and the question is very simple. Although this is a very real simple answer for a couple of you. How did the crew from Europe learn English? Now I wanted to add this because it's kind of funny because obviously the Piper, Giz, Danny, Sarah, Mario, Extra.
We are English.
They're English, so they speak English. But I thought, what the heck, I'll leave this in because I knew Swippen and Siculus would be here. And of course, there's Kama. He's not here to answer it. So I think first off, Swippen, how did you learn English?
For me, it's what school. We get to learn a lot of English in school, so that's for me.
Now, Siculus, have you had any English in school, or has your English all been learnt from watching American and British TV shows or movies?
I think most of it is from the internet, but some of it from school, but mostly from the internet. And you guys.
Now, my favorite Siculus moment I always like to tell, and it might embarrass her, is I think it was a live stream, if I remember right.
No, it was an open server.
Was it an open server? She
Yes.
came on it, and we were playing something. Could have been Game of Craft, could have been Stop the Boom, or Don't Be Last. Who knows what it was? She might remember, but I don't remember.
I remember everything.
She can give her thoughts on this after I'm done. But as we're playing, I hear this voice that you're hearing now from her saying different foul language, and it was at appropriate times for like if something went wrong. There might have been an S-bomb or maybe an F-bomb. I forget what all was said. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And Swippen kind of told us that a lot of her English she had learned from watching movies. And some of the movies, they used those phrases at different points. And she had kind of learned that those were phrases used maybe for when something was going wrong or frustrated. So it was funny, but we had to say, hey, Swippen, can you get her to tone it down?
Aww.
But your thoughts, Siculus, on your foul language?
Well, after that, I realized that I had to stop, and I've been doing my best. Sometimes I get a little wrong when I speak Swedish in school, but I'm doing what I can to get the foul language off me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, Piper, you might be the best to speak because I know how much you love German. But when it comes to Kama, his ability to speak English, how he got to where he is.
I believe it was at school, but I don't think he did that well. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but he learnt most of it on the internet as well, and I think that's probably the way things are going now. You know, most websites are English, and I know there's probably Swedish websites and German websites as well, but like for Minecraft, for all of us to communicate, I mean, our community is an English speaking community, and I think that's the way he's learned, and he finds it. He once told me like, you know, he's chatted to us all on Mumble, and his German, his English improved as he's been talking to us all on Mumble. He when he had his last job, he went out on the shop floor, and somebody asked him a question. A British person asked him a question, and he found it really hard to talk to that British person in English. But he does it fine over the internet with us. So I think there's, you know, there's differences there. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, I speak German, and I make loads of mistakes, but I've quite got the confidence now to make the mistakes but get my point across rather than go, um, I think this is the right way, but I've really got to think about this sentence. So yeah, it's language just fascinates me. I could talk all day about languages.
Piper taught me a bit of German.
You
Yeah,
gonna say any, Lizzie?
during the Orlando visit, there was times when Mrs. Boz and I were trying to navigate, and in the back I was hearing Lizzie get lessons on German and other languages from Piper. All right, so let's move on to our last question, and that question is from Toaster 1103, and the question is: during Minecon, did you guys refer to each other using your real names or your Minecraft names? Now, obviously, Lizzie has her name front and center. So does Danny. I make no bones what my name is. You'll hear the kids in the early videos, Paige and Abby and Lizzie, Paige and Abby, call me Mr. Mike. You know, other people know that my last name is Hill. Prefer to be called Michael, but Mike's fine too. Hey, you works if you wish. Um, Obviously, Piper and Giz have not made their names known, and I don't want any of you guys to mention their names here, just because they like to keep their names private. But in Orlando at Minecon and all around, I think everybody pretty much referred to everybody by their names. I mean, people called me Boz. We called Swippin, Sickles, Sickles. I don't think
Even Mrs. Buzz, we were calling Mrs. Buzz
Mrs.
rather than her
Buzz.
real name.
Now, for me, I have a lot of times I would call her by her first name, and you'll see it like on the bowling. Her first name is Diana. Um, so a lot of times I would call her Diana, or refer to her as Diana, because Mrs. Boz is a horrible name to use. I told her if she ever got Minecraft or got online, we'd have to figure out a better name for her, because I don't think she wants to be referred to as Mrs. Boz like forever.
When it came to like cheering for her when it was her turn to throw the ball, I was like, should I say Diana or Mrs. Ball? So I never actually said anything.
Either way would have
I was
worked. She
very
would
confused.
have been upset, just like with me. If you would have called me Boz, Bell Boz, um, Michael, Mike, wouldn't have mattered to me.
It's quite funny that when I was like telling my parents, you know, oh, by the way, I'm going to America with people that I don't know, and blah blah blah. I always refer to you as Michael because I thought if I said Belbuzz, they'd be like, oh, that's, you know, weird username type thing, and she doesn't actually know his real name. So to my parents, I always said Michael, even though I call you Belbuzz all the time.
I didn't. I called you Buzz to my mum. And you're Piper. And Danny's just Danny, because he's
Yeah, I'm
Danny.
just Danny.
That is Danny.
Little note too. Speaking of Giz's mom, I did have to chat with her briefly before this trip. I think she wanted to make sure we weren't going to like kidnap, keep, or otherwise harm Gizmo.
Oh, seriously?
Aww.
When I was doing my diary thingy, I said computer friends because nobody would understand it instead it was you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody pretty much referred to everybody by their handles. Um, and I was wondering, like at first, like if Minecon would have badges that you would wear,
Oh, I'm
and
so glad it didn't.
it would have your name on it, or if they would do anything to
That would have
try to
annoyed me.
restrict who actually got. If your ID doesn't match your badge, if they ask to see your license or your ID or whatever. They didn't go that route, but I thought it would have been interesting. Also, maybe if they would have had you sign, I thought would have been cool is when you paid for your tickets and everything, if it asked you like for the Minecraft names of the people, and then it like if they would have printed badges with your like Minecraft character on them, that would have been kind of
Oh,
cool.
that
Oh,
would
that
have
would
been
have been
cool.
cool.
That would have been cool. Although slightly annoying because I forgot to change my skin before I left. Would have been Christopher Eccleston.
One of the things that I didn't do, and we're definitely going to do next time, is we're definitely going to make some business cards. Not business cards per se, but some cards, and maybe have like our Minecraft characters on it and who we are from the crew and all that, so that we can hand out to people we talk to. But also maybe even have like a badge that we could wear, or go the T-shirt route or something, just so people would see us. And maybe because there was only one person that I met other than the people we've talked about that already know us already that we knew were going to be trying to meet up with us. I did meet one kid I talked to, and he did know who we were. He was a fan of the mole, so he knew the mole. Um, but obviously, he was there for Sky and Cupquake and all that stuff. So, but I mean, we may have had other people we could have talked to, but they just didn't know who we were. All right. Well, any other last minute thoughts from you guys before we wrap this? Now, I'm going to play out the music to end it once we're done here, but we will keep the stream going and then start taking some questions from people. If you have questions for Swippin, Sickles, Lizzie, Sarah, Giz, Piper, Danny, or myself, think about them. But any final thoughts from you guys before we head out?
Just thanks again for flying us three out, and it was really great to meet you all.
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
awesome trip.
The
Definitely.
breakfast was delicious.
Don't get me started on the pancakes again.
Oh, Swippin's son was so cute.
Oh yeah, Swift Son we met.
Usually
Oh.
it's really annoying.
A little thing too was kind of funny. At the restaurant we ate at for breakfast, Denny's or whatever, the last day where Swippin and Sickles came, and Swippin brought his son too. We did not meet Mrs. Swippin, so that was one thing. But Lizzie and Sickles were playing one of those crane games where you win stuff, and she won some like little like
MP3.
yeah, an MP3 player that tried to make it look like an old like generic iPod shuffle or real cheesy looking. When she got it home, she's like, I can't plug this thing into the wall. It actually looks like it had some European power plug on it.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
It would still
Oh.
probably work because you could use the USB to charge it, and a USB is a USB port no matter where you are. But it did have some weird power plug. They were two
You
prongs.
can buy adapters for it.
that's European, yeah.
It was two round prongs. They were further apart than ours. Not that thing's gonna last because it was probably worth about 10 cents. But I just thought it was kind of funny. All right.
We
Well,
bought an...
what was that?
nothing.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna play out the exit video. This will then go up on the channel later today. And we're going to hang around, though, and take some questions. Maybe I'll log into the theme build and fly around while that's going on, too. So if you guys want to say goodbye, I will now play the exit video.
Bye.
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 Have a nice day.
Wham.
Thanks for watching the Crewcast. We hope you tune in again next time. Compass.